I've got the pleasure of catching up with shox ahead of Vitality's first matchup here at Flashpoint 3. And first of all, I wanted to ask about the big news that we've seen of the team, the recent departure of RPK. So can you kind of walk me through the process of that and how it's been for you as a longtime teammate of his?
For the details, we didn't have, I would say, that much, as it's the coach that took the decisions. So we just told us that RPK was going to be replaced for some reasons. Talking about RPK itself, yeah, it was really weird, and actually it is sometimes still weird to not have him by our side, because he was a really part from the Vitality family, and plus people like Apex and me know him and played with him since more than 10 years now. So yeah, it's weird, but it's all good between us. We are still speaking with him, and we just hope he's gonna find something good for his future, and we wish him nothing but the best.
And of course, that does mean that you're getting a new addition to the roster in Kyojin. So can you kind of talk me through why him specifically coming onto the team? What did you see in him that would kind of fill that hole that was left by RPK?
Actually, I'm sorry, but as it's the coach that takes the decisions again, it's better a question you have to put on the coach side. From what I can say from Kyojin himself, he's definitely a talented guy for sure, with his raw skill for sure, with his aim, and I believe because I mean, with his VAC ban question and history, when he just received a mail from Valve that he can compete and he have been like innocent, it was definitely something really, really nice for him. You know, I asked him his history, and it's a really nice history. It's a history of a guy who is trying really his best while working, because of course you need to get some money for your home. So he was doing some work plus CS to see if he can maybe live from CS one day. But because of his VAC ban, it was really hard. So he fought with a lot of mails to Valve. Valve was not answering and stuff like this. And he told me that after 2 or 3 years, he was like, he went to his father and he was like, I'm sorry, Dad, but I believe I'm gonna stop right now, because I'm now 21 or 22, I don't remember when it was, and we don't have any news, so I better just have to stop and go to work full time, you know. And his dad, he told me that his dad was like, just tell him, no, I believe in you, just continue, and I just trust you, so you continue. And he did, and now, you know, he's at Vitality Place, and he has been innocented by Valve. So it's a really beautiful story, and you can see in how he's even as a human, he's a really nice guy. And he's just living a truth that in his head, not a long time ago, it was just impossible for him, you know. So I'm really glad to have him by our side.
Yeah, that's an amazing story, and obviously the hard work has paid off for him of you know, trying to get on that team as well. Has that made him you know, in terms of his sort of work ethic? Do you kind of notice that in him because he's been grinding for it for so long? What's his work ethic like when he's joined the team?
He's working a lot. He's learning a lot. He's learning pretty fast, to be honest. And yeah, you can definitely see that he got eager to win and to satisfy all the team, to be the best he can be. Just he got the perfect mood, I would say, the perfect mentality. And I'm pretty sure his personality plus his history, of course, when you have something like this, yeah, you gotta be eager for years and years.
And in terms of the practice you've had with him, we heard back at the Blast Showdown that you had started practicing with Kyojin in replace of RPK. So could you tell me a bit about how long you've been practicing with him, how that's kind of been going, what the sort of what the ideas have been behind him?
We kind of started practicing when RPK was announced on the batch about 2 or 3 days, sorry. So it was pretty fast, and at the moment we are speaking, He's still learning, and he's in the phase. You're gonna have 3 phases, I would say. The first is you are learning a lot, so you just have to remember. Then you have to do it in the server, to have it in your head, not thinking really what you have to do, but just do it because you already practiced the one. And the third one, of course, is like everything is clear, everything is fine in your head, and you're just gonna play your game. And at the moment, I would say he's in the second phase, where he just learned a lot of stuff, but at the moment it's still not all natural for him, and he's still thinking about when we are doing a call, when we are doing some specific things in the game. He's still thinking what he should be doing, and that's totally normal. That's a part of the process, and I can't wait for him to be in the part 3 when everything is smooth and he's just focused to play his game.
Yeah, can you tell me a bit about how exactly he's fitting into Vitality? Is he taking on the role that we saw RPK taking on previously? Is there going to be any switched up? Can you tell me a bit about that?
Basically, on almost every map, he can replace RPK. So I believe that's also a point where the coaches, that's why they decided to pick him, because from what they say, apparently it was his position he was playing. So it was definitely an easy pick to have when you replace someone that already have 80% of the positions of RPK. It's gonna be more easy at the beginning.
And in terms of RPK, we sort of praised him as a player, obviously a legend in the scene, but he seemed to be a player that would take on those kind of selfless roles, those selfless positions. Has that been something that you've kind of seen Kyojin adapting to? And have there been kind of any holes since RPK have left the team so far in terms of your practice?
Not really, because I mean, everyone is different. Every person got a different personality, got different forces, different weaknesses, and I mean, Kyojin and RPK are just 2 different persons, and that's good for them. That they're different, of course, and he's just complementing. Of course, we're gonna miss some RPK things. But Kyojin is also bringing his own things by being just as a human he is.
I know there was a couple of questions as well, because obviously we saw Nivera being your 6th man, obviously not anymore, you guys have decided to go away from that. But there was a few questions of why Nivera wasn't just subbed in instead of getting Kyojin into the team. I know that might be a question more for your coach, but could you offer kind of any insight to that, why you decided to go with an entirely new player rather than integrating Nivera into the team?
Yeah, definitely that's a question for the coach. But from what I see from just my own side is Nivera didn't have the positions of RPK, and he was not the kind of player that you gonna ask him to do it. Because first, maybe he would accept, but at the end he wouldn't be satisfied because it's not the way how he liked to play CS. And if he does it, no one gonna be happy, because of course if you do something that you don't really like, you are not gonna be really good at it, so it's gonna impact the team, and him itself, he's not gonna take any pleasure of it. I mean, you could see Nivera taking a lot of AVP, having a lot of movements. That's what he likes, and we were looking to replace RPK, who is someone who we need to be really an anchor, on the sites. So you can't ask him to do that. It will make no sense for us and also for him.
And in terms of how Apex has been working with Kyojin, we kind of heard when Nivera was first coming into the team, subbing in for those maps, that Apex was doing a lot of micromanagement inside the server as well. Has that been kind of the same with Kyojin? Could you tell me a bit about their relationship?
From what I see, Apex always did a lot of micromanagement, honestly. Always. But you can see that Kyojin got the personality that he got the ideas. He's a guy he got the ideas, he got good ideas, and he can do it, I would say, naturally. but because I believe he's joining a tier 1 team and he wants to do good, and maybe because he's playing with big names around him or whatever, you're gonna be shy, of course. I think he's just human. You're gonna be shy, and that's why Apex and we are trying to just force him to do the coach as well, because we know he can do it. He just need to pass the barrier when it's not only big names around you, whatever. It's just your teammates today. So you are at the same level, and we need you to bring your own thing. You know, if you're gonna just have to follow the lead and follow what we are calling or whatever, you're gonna be, I would say, a standard player. And we know you are not a standard one, and we totally know it. But he just need to go through it. And I believe it's just a matter of time that he have to know us each other more, even of the personal sides. Because I believe when you know someone in the personal side and you are developing some relationship, it's gonna be easier in the game to just to talk naturally, or just to say something when you want to do something, or code or whatever.
And I also want to ask about your own perspective on Apex as developing in that in-game leader role. Obviously not a role that we've seen him taking on for the majority of his career in Counter-Strike, and you've been a teammate with him for quite a long time. So just looking back on his tenure in Vitality and the developments he's made as an in-game leader, where have you seen those kind of main changes, and what would you kind of describe him as being like now as an IGL?
I believe he's doing a good job. I don't know what to say. It's a really tough question, because I always break the fact that he went to a player to lead. I did it as well, and I know it's a really hard task when you are not used to, and he's learning since 1 year. Again today, he's still learning, and he's trying to do the maximum he can to make the team win. As I believe every good in-game leader and every captain will like to do for his team.
And in previous interviews, we've heard that you've been giving your own input as well. So is there like any kind of balance with that, and when you give your input to Apex, or can you kind of describe the relationship there?
When we are playing a really good game, it has to be because Apex and me are just talking a lot. When I mean talking a lot, it's not necessarily micromanaging the other players. It's more about following the games, following the economy, following how are we calling, and a lot of time when we are in the same, we got the same opinion of the game. I would say the same point of view at the right moment. It always makes us a good game. So that's a really key. We know, and we are trying to work that it can be more consistent. But yeah, the base game is where, for example, I'm gonna propose him a call because I saw something or whatever, and during I'm tapping it in the same team, he's just coding it in TeamSpeak, you know, and it happened several times, and we just are trying to it happened a lot of times, because every time it happens, we know we're gonna win the run for sure. So but it's not always easy, and yeah, it's an important task that him and I are getting the same point of view of the game.
And looking at Vitality's form coming into 2021, we've seen a bit of a dip in terms of your consistency and placings in the HLTV World Rankings. So can you tell me a little bit about that, and any kind of any big reasons you see for this dip in form coming into this year?
Honestly, when we came back in January, we took the third place in Blast Finals, while we almost through 2 games. So I would say that was a nice first result. And after, we just have a lot of, honestly, a lot of personal shit, I would say, on the... It was not our fault, but a lot of players just had some personal issues, which is just the life. You can't do anything. You just have to face it. So of course it's not an easy task. Then you're gonna have the fact that the 6-man roster has to change. So you're gonna have to take back the old model to come back at the 5. Then remember that Apex went for a burnout for 1 week. So I had to take the leading game at the back then. Then we are still trying to fight and to find some good results, but in these conditions, it's not definitely easy. Then now you got RPK who is gonna be replaced. So I mean, a lot of things happened. In 5 months, we almost lived 1 year of a team, I would say, with all the issues we had, and it's just not easy. So now we got Kyojin, and our personal issues are a bit stepping down. Of course, I hope we're gonna come back, but anyway, we are still from my perspective, we're just in a world with the COVID-19. We all know that it's a difficult one. Everyone in the life, not even CS or whatever, but everyone in the life, it's hard for the mental part, for all the humans, because we all want to go see their friends, their family, to having some time off, to go outside, and this is something we can't really do since 1 year. From our side in France, we gonna be allowed to having more freedom in the next few weeks. For example, I believe the restaurants are gonna be open in 2 weeks or something like this. Probably you're gonna have the cinema as well. So I think it's gonna be really important. It's gonna be a good part for everyone to live a bit, because we did a really good season last year despite it. But yeah, in the long term, it's tough. And plus, there have been some really good teams that are showing up lately that were not especially showing last year. The level is really stuck. I mean, you can see that almost every teams can beat almost every teams. So yeah, I mean, just do what you can. Try to do your best. Since if you just try to do your best, then sometimes you're gonna lose, sometimes you're gonna win. Maybe you're gonna have a lose streak. We are having a lose streak since 3 months. That's a fact for sure. But the principal thing is just to not give up, to not accept it. Like, yeah, we are losing. It's okay. No, it's not okay. And we are trying everything to come back to a winning form. Now it can happen. It can happen tomorrow. It can happen in 2 weeks, in 1 month. We will see, you know. But I think it's important to having you focus for the good reasons. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And hopefully the LAN and the living, the normal living, I would say, will come back pretty soon. As a lot of countries are just trying to reopen because they can't face it from the economy part. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of time when you're gonna have to get your vaccine again against it. And since you got your vaccine, I believe the LAN gonna show up, even if it's not with viewers, with spectators for the first ones. I mean, just going in a different country, in a different hotel, in a different place. Look at the admins, a different computer, different. Oh damn, you know, just that. It will be really nice.
Yeah, it will be incredible indeed. I know everybody's looking forward to when we can finally return to that. And you touched upon it there, talking about you can't really count out any of the teams at the moment, especially in this ecosystem. So how are you viewing Vitality coming into Flashpoint 3 and looking at some of the other competition? Do you feel like you have a chance of taking the title here?
I don't know. Yes, why not? I mean, why not? But I see Vitality as a team who is trying to regrow after months of disappointment, I would say. And I even myself don't have any attempt I think we need to go back from where we kind of started. For example, almost 1 year ago, when Apex took the lead and Mizota came in, we didn't have any attempt. We were just trying to do the best we can, and it went pretty good. I believe we just have to be in the same mentality, and it's kind of the same thing. We've been through difficulties. We are trying to come back. We got a new player. Now let's start again from the beginning. I mean, I don't think no one will expect us with showing we had the past few months. So yeah, it's okay if people forget about us. No worries. Forget us. That's fine. No worries. And from outside, just take it match by match, day by day, trying to do our best and see where it goes.
Yeah, and speaking of that first matchup, it's going to be an interesting one because you've got a bit of a French rivalry going on with Double Poney as your first game. Obviously seeing MBK officially allowed to play at the RMR now for that team. So what are you kind of making of them and their form at the moment? Have you had a chance to practice against them or anything?
Absolutely not. So we didn't practice them, so I don't really know what to expect. It's been a really, really long time since we didn't have a rivalry with another French team. I mean, yeah, it's been years, I believe, because I won't say that G2 is a French team. Even when Kenyes was in, it was not the same. Here, we're gonna have 10 French players on the server, and it's gonna be a long time. You didn't have it. Plus, it's for the major. So yeah, expect a good game with a lot of energy and fire.
I'm so excited to be delving into it. Shox, thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for all of your insight, and best of luck as you go into that first game.
Thank you. Goodbye.